and 9 million foreign-born residents currently live in the UK. But in October, that number could drop, not because people want to leave, but because they may be forced to. The UK government is rolling out sweeping immigration changes, rules that experts are calling the toughest crackdown in years. And here's the shocking part. Even long-term residents, people who've lived here for years, paid taxes and built lives, could suddenly be told they no longer qualify to stay. Sounds unbelievable. It's real. And it's happening fast. From stricter salary thresholds and visa bans for dependents, to tighter student visa rules and limited paths to settlement, these 10 new laws could impact millions. If you're an immigrant in the UK or planning to move, you need to hear this. Will your visa still qualify? Will you be able to stay with your family? Will you even be allowed to renew? This video will break down all 10 rules, explain what's changing, who's at risk, and what you can do now to protect your future. Stay until the end. What you don't know could change. Number 1. Stricter minimum salary thresholds. One of the most controversial changes coming in October 2025 is the sharp increase in the minimum salary threshold for foreign workers. Until now, many skilled workers could get a UK work visa with a salary of around £26,200. But under the new rules, that number is set to jump to nearly £38,000, and even higher for certain sectors. This isn't just an update, it's a total reset of who gets to stay and who gets told to leave. Think about it. Thousands of care workers, nurses, teachers, chefs, and IT professionals may suddenly be priced out, not because they're unqualified, but simply because their salary falls short. And here's the kicker. This rule won't only affect new applicants. If you're already living and working in the UK, you're next a cold message. You don't meet the new salary requirement. This change is especially painful for industries like healthcare and hospitality, which already depend heavily on foreign workers. Imagine care homes losing staff overnight, not because of performance, but because of a policy shift. Supporters say it will help prioritize higher-paying roles and reduce migration. Critics argue it's a blunt instrument that will cause more harm than good. So the big question is, does your current salary still qualify you to stay? Or is this new rule about to pull the rug from under your feet? And this is only rule number 1. There's more coming. Number 2. No dependents for certain visa holders. One of the most heartbreaking changes in the October 2025 immigration rules is the ban on bringing family members for certain visa holders. From now on, foreign workers in specific sectors, especially in health and social, will no longer be allowed to bring their spouses, children, or dependents to the UK. This isn't just a rule change, it's a personal blow to thousands of families. Imagine uprooting your life to work in a new country, only to be told you must live here alone. No partner, no kids, no visits. Just work and survive. Many of these workers are already in demanding roles that locals often avoid. They care for the elderly, work long hours, and contribute immensely. And now they're being told, that's not enough. The government says this move will control immigration numbers and ease housing strain. But the emotional cost? Immense. Separated families. Children growing up without a parent. Spouses torn apart by paperwork. If you're planning to apply or renew a visa, this change could affect you directly. Not all categories are impacted, but you must check carefully. Should family unity be a right or a privilege? Drop your thoughts in the comments. We read every single one. And don't forget, subscribe and turn on notifications to stay ahead of every update. This is only the beginning. Number 3. Student visa crackdowns. For decades, international students viewed the UK as a golden ticket. Elite education, career opportunities, and the chance to build a future. But in October 2025, that dream becomes harder to reach. The first major shift: most international students will no longer be allowed to bring dependents. No spouses, No children, just the student, alone, and that's only the beginning. The government is now reviewing the graduate route, which allowed students to stay in the UK for 2 years post-study. Many insiders expect it to be shortened or scrapped. That means less time to work, settle, or switch to a skilled worker visa. Another quiet change? A crackdown on who can sponsor international students. Only universities meeting strict government performance metrics, like completion rates and graduate employment, will be allowed to issue student visas. Smaller private colleges and institutions with lower stats, likely to lose sponsorship rights altogether. The official narrative is about preventing abuse, cutting down on people using education as a backdoor to immigration. But critics say it's short-sighted. International students bring billions into the economy and enrich campus life across the UK. The message behind the policy is louder than the policy itself. The UK is narrowing the path. If you're dreaming of studying in Britain, the map has changed. Fewer routes, stricter checkpoints, and a lot more. For thousands, this won't just alter plans, it could erase them completely. Number 4. NHS surcharge increases. Imagine paying thousands before you even step foot in a hospital just to access healthcare in the UK. That's what immigrants face through the Immigration Health Surcharge (IHS). And in October 2025, it's going up. A lot. Currently, the IHS costs £624 per adult per year. But under the new changes, it's expected to rise to over £1,200 annually. For a family of 4, that's nearly £5,000, paid up front, just to secure basic NHS access. And yes, you still pay taxes, national insurance, prescription fees, everything is extra. And it doesn't matter whether you ever use the NHS or not. You pay either way. Supporters say the rise is needed to ease pressure on a strained health system. But many argue it's punishing the very people keeping that system alive. Migrants working in hospitals, care homes and clinics. Students aren't spared either. Though they'll pay a slightly reduced rate, it's still a significant cost added to tuition, rent and daily living. And if your visa is for 3 or 5 years, you're paying it all at once before you arrive. For many aspiring migrants, this fee alone is becoming a deal breaker. Not because they don't want to contribute, but because they simply can't afford it. It's a quiet filter, not based on merit or need, but on who can pay. Healthcare is meant to be universal, but this rule suggests otherwise, that access comes at a cost, and that cost just doubled. Number 5. Mandatory English language testing. In October 2025, one of its most overlooked immigration requirements, English language testing. Under the new rules, nearly all visa applicants must take a standardized government-approved English exam, no matter where they're from or how long they've already lived in an English-speaking country. That means a degree taught in English. Not enough. Years of work in the UK. Still not valid. Unless your test is from a Home Office approved centre, it won't count. Previously, flexibility existed. Some applicants used academic transcripts or employer attestations. But those days are over. The system is now rigid and costly. These tests can run over £200, and they're only available at specific centres, often booked out for weeks. In some regions, they're hours or even countries away. Fail the first time, you'll have to retake, repay and wait again. Supporters say it ensures, but many see it as yet another hoop, designed to slow down and filter out applicants. Skilled workers already using English daily are now being told a certificate matters more than their real-world fluency. And those from poorer regions? They face delays, stress, and more red tape. Yes, language matters, but when the process feels more like a barrier than a bridge, it risks keeping out capable people who are already contributing. In the UK of 2025, just speaking English isn't enough. You'll need to prove it, on paper, in a test, and under pressure. Number 6. shorter visa duration and renewal limits. In 2025, the UK government is tightening not just who gets a visa, but for how long. Under the new rules, many temporary durations, stricter renewal caps, and far fewer pathways to extend or switch status from inside the country. In plain terms, the clock is ticking faster. Let's say you're on a 2-year work visa. Previously, you might have had the option to extend or transition to a longer-term route. But with the new system, that flexibility is fading. Some visas will now be capped at a single term, with no possibility of renewal. Others will require applicants to leave the UK and apply again from their home country, often starting the process from scratch, even if they've already built a life here. This is a major blow for those planning to stay long-term, working, saving, progressing towards settlement. The message is clear. Your time here is limited, and the bar to stay longer is higher than ever. It also creates uncertainty for employers, who now face added recruitment costs. Critics warn that this system pushes skilled, loyal workers into limbo, constantly chasing the next visa, never fully secure. It may reduce net migration figures on paper, but behind the numbers lie revolving doors, emotional stress, and broken plans. If you're on a short-term visa, pay close attention. This rule might mean your next step won't be forward. It could be out, and this time there may be no coming back. Number 7. Tightened rules on family visas. For many immigrants, the ultimate goal isn't just to work or study in the UK, it's to build a life with their loved ones. But in October 2025, that dream becomes harder to reach. The new immigration rules introduce stricter criteria for family visas, particularly for spouses, partners, and parents hoping to join someone already living in the UK. The biggest change? The financial requirement. Previously, you needed to earn around £18,600 per year to sponsor a spouse. Now, that threshold is expected to rise to £29,000 or more, and that's just for one person. Add children, and the bar climbs even higher. For many migrants in essential but modest-paying jobs, this new number feels out of reach. Documentation requirements are also increasing. More paperwork, longer wait times, deeper scrutiny into the relationship's legitimacy, especially for couples who haven't lived together long. In some cases, applicants will face English testing or integration checks, even if the sponsor has lived in the UK for years. Officials say it's about ensuring stability, but critics see it as quietly separating families through red tape. And it's not just new applicants. Those renewing status may also get caught in the changes. In this new system, love comes with conditions and a price tag. So what happens when you meet every other requirement, except the new one? Number 8. Increased deportation for visa violations. In 2025, the UK is adopting a much harsher stance on immigration compliance, and the consequences could be swift and unforgiving. Under the new rules, even minor violations, the kind that previously resulted in warnings, can now trigger automatic deportation. Miss a reporting deadline, submit incomplete documentation, fail to update the Home Office about a job change. Any of these can now be considered serious enough to lose your legal status. This isn't just about overstaying a visa. It's about small, technical missteps, often made unintentionally, being treated like deliberate fraud. Consider this. Someone changing jobs under the same visa category used to just notify you. Now, failure to get prior approval could mean you've breached your visa conditions and are subject to removal. Timelines are shorter, appeals are limited. In some cases, people could be detained before they even understand what went wrong. The Home Office says this is about increasing accountability, but critics argue it will create panic and silence. Migrants too afraid to report changes, ask questions, or seek help. It's no longer about intent. It's about precision. Every detail matters. Every form, every update, every date. For many, this means living in fear, not of doing something wrong, but of doing something slightly off. One innocent mistake could undo years of effort. In 2025, visa compliance isn't just policy, it's a high-stakes balancing act. There may be no second chances. Number 9. Digital immigration status monitoring. Welcome to the future of immigration, where your status isn't printed on a card, but tracked in real time by the state. By late 2025, the UK will fully transition to a digital immigration system, replacing physical documents like biometric residence permits with online-only status verification. It sounds modern, but it's much more than a tech upgrade. It's a radical change in how immigrants are seen, tracked, and treated. Now, when you apply for a job, rent a flat, or visit a hospital, your immigration status will be checked instantly through online portals. No document in hand, just a system, and trust that it works. But what if it doesn't? Glitches have already left legal residents jobless, homeless, and blocked from care. The data servers must never go down. The process must be seamless. Because one error could cost you everything. Critics say this creates a culture of constant surveillance. Your life, your rights, dependent on a digital profile that's not even controlled by you. And it's not just about function, it's about access. Not everyone has strong internet, digital literacy, or the ability to challenge errors buried in bureaucracy. The government calls it efficiency. Others call it digital overreach, quiet, powerful, and unaccountable. In a world where your legal existence is stored on a screen, the smallest glitch becomes a potential crisis. One login, one lookup, one moment. That's all it takes to change your future. Number 10. Zero route to settlement for certain roles. For many migrants, the UK it's the destination, a place to settle, raise families, build futures. But in October 2025, that dream could disappear for entire job categories. The government is introducing a rule that blocks specific roles, especially in lower-paid sectors, from ever leading to settlement or permanent residency. That means even if you live in the UK for 10 years, follow every rule, pay taxes, and work full-time, you might still never qualify to stay long-term. Jobs impacted include care workers, cleaners, porters, warehouse staff, and other essential roles. Ironically, many of these are the very people who kept the country running through crises, now being told, you're good enough to work, but not to stay. What's worse? The policy may apply retroactively, meaning individuals who thought they were on might find that path suddenly erased. Supporters say this ensures the UK focuses on high-skilled migration. Critics call it short-sighted, classist, and dehumanizing. Who decides what work has value, and why should long-serving, tax-paying individuals be locked into a permanent state of impermanence? This rule doesn't deport you overnight. It doesn't take your visa. But it quietly steals the future you were building. It tells people they're forever temporary, forever outsiders. And for those who came with hope in their hearts, this may be the most brutal cut of all, not rejection, but quiet exclusion. A closed door, hidden in plain sight. These changes aren't just policies, they're real lives, real families, real futures. What do you think? Fair reform or too far? Tell us in the comments. We truly want to hear your voice. Do you understand what's coming? Check out our last video. It breaks down the hidden impact. We pour hours into every video to keep you informed. Support us with one click. Subscribe. It means the world to us.